Are you serious? Are you serious? We have breaking news right now, just now coming in, that's still taking place. Attacks are going on in Syria. This time it's Israel. Israel. We have reports just now receiving it. I want to thank Tom up in Michigan. There's been a new attack. It happened at 5:02 Eastern Time. That would have been just about midnight in Syria. Reports of explosions at the largest Iranian base in all of Syria. The base was targeted by Israeli aircraft tonight. Also, Israel carried out 4 airstrikes on one of the largest munition storage facilities in Aleppo. And that's also there in Syria. The base facility was held by the Iranians and Afghani militants. And we understand that more than 30 ambulances are now en route to Jabal Hassan for rescue operations in the aftermath of the explosion at the Iranian base in southern Aleppo, Syria. So once again, this happened about 40 minutes ago. Israel has just carried out a precision strike, 4 airstrikes on one of the largest munition storage facilities in Aleppo, Syria. But before they hit that, there was a new attack in which reports and explosions at the largest Iranian base in Syria. The base was targeted by Israeli aircraft. They hit the largest munition storage facility there in Aleppo, Syria, which had been controlled and is being controlled right now by the Iranians. More than 30 ambulances are on the way now in Jabal for the rescue operation in the aftermath of the explosion at the Iranian base in southern Aleppo, Syria. So the United States is not doing this. Now let's go back to last night. The United States, the United Kingdom, and France all went after the chemical weapons facilities and research centers, 3 major targets that they successfully destroyed. And with very limited amount of casualties, I think maybe 62 casualties, all Syrian military. I'm sure there's going to be some more reports, and there's going to be some misinformation also, so expect that. And I'm just reporting. I just want people to know Pastor Begley doesn't love war. I hate war. I hate the sound of it. My sons have been in it, and I never want to see anybody be involved. But I can't stop Bible prophecy. And what's happening in Syria is right out of the pages of the Bible. Folks, we are literally dancing on the edges of Psalms 83 here. Israel retaliating or going after Iran is actually what you would expect to happen because the Iranians are creeping ever so closer to the Israeli border. They've already sent a drone over the top of it. Now I've got more information. Also, explosions are now being reported in an Iranian base in Deir ez-Zor. That's a second base. This just happened at 5:27 p.m. Eastern. That would be about a little after midnight, almost 12:30 in Syria. The explosions have now been reported at an Iranian base in Deir ez-Zor. Israel has now declared a no-fly zone over the Golan Heights east of the Jordan River, so they're now controlling their airspace. And according to CNN Turkey, there is a partial power outage right now in Damascus due to the attacks that's taken place by the Israeli Air Force is carrying out precision strikes on Iranian military base, a storage munitions facility, the largest that the Iranians have in Syria. Also, we have reports of at least 1 aircraft has been shot down. I repeat, there are reports that at least 1 aircraft has been shot down. We assume it is an Israeli aircraft, but I can't confirm that. I don't know for sure. And it may have been shot down by the Syrians. It may have been shot down by the Russians. It could have been even shot down by the Iranians. I'm not. Then again, that is an unconfirmed report, but that 1 plane has been shot down. 1 fighter jet has been shot down and it's probably an Israeli plane. They're the ones carrying out the attack on Iran, on Iranian bases in Syria. They're not going after Assad. They're not going after the Russians. They're not going after the Syrians at all. They're going after the Iranian facilities that are too close for comfort and are storing up munitions. Also, we have more news just now. Haifa, in Haifa, Israel, has initiated an emergency response procedures and has told authorities to be prepared for any potential military fallout from NATO operations taking place in Syria. I repeat, there's an emergency response procedures have been put in effect in Haifa, Israel, as Israel has initiated emergency response procedures and has told the authorities locally there in Haifa to be prepared for any potential military fallout from the NATO operations in Syria. Now, what could that mean? Well, that could mean Hezbollah. If you look at southern Lebanon, you know, some of you may know that Hezbollah, another radical Islamic Muslim militant group who hates Israel with a passion, and it is Hezbollah who really controls Lebanon. It is Hezbollah. They are sworn enemies of Israel and have also quoted the very scriptures of Psalms 83 of annihilation of Israel, the same thing the Iranians have done. And so, and they've been stockpiling for years tons of rockets and some sophisticated weaponry that has been smuggled in out of Iran. And so here's what's happening there. The people of Haifa, Israel, have been put on high alert and to initiate emergency response procedures in the city of Haifa in case of an attack by Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. This could easily happen, okay? And also emergency action messages, EAMs they're called, emergency action messages are firing off on the U.S. global high-frequency communication systems right now. Now, I'm getting this information from one of the gentlemen, a word on the street. This guy is definitely connected and keeps us informed with some of this stuff. And so this is an emergency action messages firing off on U.S. global high-frequency communication systems right now. And there are reports of massive explosions just now in Quneitra, which is near the Israeli border. Quneitra, you know, I don't know where Quneitra is, which country. If you, please forgive me for not knowing that. And I'm going to quickly Google that right now, since that is right now happening. That's a right now word, Quneitra, and I think that's how you say it. Is that Syria? Where is it? Let's see. It is, it's right on the border. It's in Syria. Okay, so there's been a massive explosion. It's right there at the it's right there in that little corner. It's right there on the border of Israel, but it's in southwestern Syria. There's reports of a massive explosion has happened in Quneitra near the Israeli border. That just happened. Okay, so this is right up to the minute. I'm sure this is not anywhere on your major news networks at all right now, as this is happening right now. Matter of fact, I'm just going to triple check something. Give me just a second here. Sorry about that. I know we're live on the air. I want to thank all of you that are with us. Spontaneous live broadcast. No. Yes, I might have found it. 27. Israel's launching new attacks in the last 27 minutes. Israel launches a new attack. This is that's only one report on the internet anywhere. Israel's carried out 4 airstrikes on one of the largest munition storage facilities in Aleppo, Syria. The facility was held by the Iranians and Afghani militants. 20 Iranian officers have been killed in Aleppo in the Syrian strikes. More than 30 ambulances are arriving on the scene in Jabal Hassan for rescue operations in the aftermath of the explosion at an Iranian base in southern Aleppo, Syria. Syrian media is reporting just now explosions at the largest Iranian base in Syria. Iranian military base in Syria was targeted by unidentified aircraft Saturday night. We now know who that is. It is Israel. Israel has went on the offensive. Israel threw the first punch to start this whole thing on Monday after the chemical gas, and there's confusion on that. We're going to hear a lot of different theories who may have done the chemical attack on the people there. But one thing's for sure, we do know this, that President Trump, the United States, we know the French, we know the United Kingdom, launched a very powerful attack on 3 different locations where the Syrian government either produces chlorine gas factories or stores facilities that had stored chlorine gas components and research, R&D research, and that kind of thing. According to the Secretary of Defense, Jim Mad Dog Mattis, we've set the Syrian biochemical warfare back about 10 years. But now that it's not over, because now it's the Israelis' turn, and they're going after Iranian strongholds. I repeat, Israel has just carried out 4 airstrikes on one of the largest munition storage facilities in Aleppo, Syria. The facility was held by Iranian and Afghani militants, according to reports. And 20 Iranian officers, I repeat, 20 Iranian officers have been killed in Aleppo, Syria, because of the attack by the Israeli Air Force. More than 30 ambulances have arrived on the scene for rescue operations in the aftermath of the explosion at the Iranian base in southern Aleppo, Syria. Syrian media saying the explosions at the largest Iranian base in Syria, Iranian military base in Syria, was targeted by Syria, still reporting it was an unidentified aircraft. But boots on the ground, guys, we got our sources are saying it was definitely Israeli. And so it's a fog of war now, folks. It is certainly a fog of war. Our prayers go out to everybody. I mean, I don't want anybody getting killed. I don't want to see this. I don't want war. We don't want it. But we can't stop it. The very nations that are mentioned in the battle of Gog and Magog in Ezekiel 38 have converged on the scene. And so, an incredible situation. I've been saying to people, watch out. That Israel, I thought last night, I think some of you heard me when I went live last. I want to welcome all 1,600 of you that have gathered with us live tonight. I know that there are many people, it's a Saturday evening, a lot of folks are doing different things. You could be doing a lot of different things. The mainstream, lamestream, fake news media, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, none of these guys are covering this right now. None of these guys. Not on Saturday night. They're at a dinner party and they got stuff to do. But we've been staying on top of this, watching and waiting, because I said last night, I couldn't believe that Israel, it's not fake news, Gavin. It's not fake news. They're the fake news. I agree with you. They're the fake news. And the thing is, we were saying last night, we really thought for sure that Israel might jump in the fray last night. But here's the plan. It looks like they're coordinating it together. The United States, the French, and the United Kingdom were going after Assad's chemical research centers and chemical factories to try to get rid of this chemical weaponry. And Israel is tonight. And Israel's plan is go straight after the Iranians, because it is the Iranians that have said they're going to wipe Israel off the face of the map. It is the Iranians who have sworn a jihad. It is the Iranians whose ideology is through their radical Shiite Islamic beliefs that they have to have chaos. There must be confusion. Israel must be wiped from the face of the earth, or in their minds, the Muslim Messiah, the Allah Mahdi, the Mahdi will never return. They must attack Jerusalem. So if you study Bible prophecy, they're actually fulfilling biblical prophecy, because in the Bible, first of all, they're part of the Battle of Gog and Magog, along with the Russians and the Turks and the Ethiopians and Libya and others. But also Iran says the very words that is spoken in the scriptures in Isaiah 83. Psalms 83. So Iran is in both of these wars. They're involved. And so it doesn't shock me that Israel went straight after the Iranians. Now, there's going to be some folks that are showing up right now because my mods were not notified that I was going live. Nobody was notified I was going live. Information is so fresh that your mainstream, lamestream, fake news media they're not awake yet. They can't turn their cameras on. And they got to put a spin on this. They got to put a spin on this, guys. And they got to wait for a memo, and they got to check with Rupert Murdoch, and they got to figure out what they're supposed to say, because this involves Israel. And when it involves Israel, the world hates Israel. So the spin has to be negative toward Israel. My job is just tell you what's happening. I'm just going to tell you what's happening. I'm not picking sides. I know what the Bible says, and what the Bible said would come. The beginning of sorrows. Jesus said in the last days, there would be wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Now, obviously, I'm going to stand with the United States of America, and obviously, I'm going to stand with Israel, because I was commanded in the Word of God to do that. And I know that if I bless Israel, I'll be blessed, and if I curse Israel, I'll be cursed. And what you're seeing right now, and as you can see, folks, there's some folks that are angry at Donald Trump and angry at Israel and angry at me, and there's going to be some negative comments made. And Melissa's jumped in there now. She's going to try to help us out. There's going to be some anti-Semitics who are going to jump in here and are going to throw Israel on the bus, going to cuss me out, going to do different things. It doesn't bother me. That runs off me like water off a duck's back. I could care less. My job is to get the job done and to let you know that we're in the last days, and this is exactly what the Bible said would happen. I'm going to try to, give me just a second here. Tom, if you're watching out there, if you would send another email right now so that I can pull back up where I was at. I think that's it, right? Get rid of that. Oh, there it was. Okay, here we go. Now, here's what's going on up to the minute, folks. Folks that we have. Again, there's been a new attack. I want to thank all of you. Listen to what's happening. There's been a new attack. It happened at 5:02 Eastern. Reports of explosions at the largest Iranian base in Syria. The base was targeted by Israeli aircraft tonight. So at 5:02 Eastern, that would have been midnight, 12 midnight, 2 minutes after. I want to welcome all 2,000 of you that are joining us live on YouTube. I'm only on YouTube right now. Here's what else is happening. Israel carried out 4 airstrikes on one of the largest munitions storage facilities in Aleppo. The base facility was held by Iranians and Afghani militants. More than 30 ambulances have arrived on the scene in the rescue operation. Repeat, 20 Iranian officers are reported dead. I repeat, 20 Iranian officers are reported dead in this attack. So Israel has smashed into the largest munitions storage facility that Iran has in Syria, in Aleppo, and then explosions. Have reports that 30 ambulances are on the scene, and 20 Iranian officers are dead. Also, explosions are now being reported. This was at 5:27 Eastern, so about a half hour ago. More explosions, this time at another Iranian base called Deir ez-Zor. Okay, Deir ez-Zor. Israel has just declared a no-fly zone over the entire Golan region east of the Jordan River. That means they're protecting the air on both sides of the border, both on the Syrian side and the Israeli side. And according to CNN, Turkey, There's a partial power outage right now in Damascus due to the attack that's taking place in Deir ez-Zor. Reports of at least one aircraft, though, has been shot down. I can't confirm this. But there's word on the street, okay, from my sources. Word on the street, reports of at least one aircraft, one fighter jet has been shot down. I do not know if it's an Israeli fighter jet or if it's an Iranian one or a Syrian or a Russian. I don't know. Probably Israeli, but if I'm guessing, but I don't know. Israel's only had one plane shot down since 1986, and that was about 2 months ago. But I don't know, okay? Also, we have word from people in Haifa. There are alarms going off. Emergency response procedures have been initiated in Haifa, Israel tonight. They're under an emergency. Response procedures are being enforced. Authorities are telling the people, the city of Haifa, Israel, prepare for any potential military fallout from that NATO operation from last night. So who would attack Israel in Haifa? It would have to be Hezbollah, who are in southern Lebanon. If there is going to be an attack, maybe rockets, they can fire rockets from southern Lebanon, drop them right into Haifa. They've done it before. So the Israeli government has initiated emergency response procedures for the city of Haifa, Israel, and the authorities are saying prepare for any potential military fallout from NATO operations that went on in Syria. Also, the emergency action messages called EAM, firing off on U.S. global high-frequency communication systems as we speak. I got this 8 minutes ago. An emergency action messages called a EAM. Alan, I know you know what this is. Emergency action messages firing off on U.S. global high-frequency communication systems right now. And reports of another explosion, a massive explosion in a third location, this one in Quintero, Syria, which is right on the border with Israel. Quintero, Syria, the town that sits right on the border with Israel. There has just been a report of a massive explosion right there. We don't know what it's from. I don't know if there was a rocket. I don't know if there was an aerial attack. I don't know if that's where that plane went down. If there is a plane shot down, we're getting reports that an aircraft has been shot down. Don't know whose aircraft and don't know who shot it down. This is a very fluid situation. And someone just said, Pastor Paul, you are on it. This is why I usually look to you for updates. Thank you so much. Thank you. And let me just say, my good friend Stephen Ben-Danoon, of course, I hope to get him on the air with me probably Monday to kind of help sort this all out. Of course, it's great because he's living right now in Prague in the Czech Republic. He's able to get a lot of the local news coming right out of Russia and get the perspective from the Russian people, from the people in the Czech Republic. Of course, they may have a different take on what was happening and what's going on, and it's okay because it's good to get different sides and different perspectives. It helps us sort through this. Obviously, there's a lot of conspiracy theories right now going on, tons of them. I don't overreact to those. I don't chase those. I don't run around hunting down conspiracy theories. I'm reporting to you what is happening. Alex Jones hasn't reported anything about this. Not yet. Alex has still not had a chance to report. It's difficult. It's a Saturday evening. A lot of times folks are not home. They're out having dinner, what have you. And that's another reason that you will see that your mainstream, lamestream. What's MSNBC doing? Are they probably playing reruns from? They love to play Saturdays. They like to play videos of correctional facilities, people in prison. They don't have anybody working in the newsroom. And so for them to get on the air, they got to go call some people up, hope they're not intoxicated. They can get them into work. and then hope they can turn on a camera, and then they got to wait and see what they're told what to say, because they can't say something. And so you can't, here's what you got to do. As a pastor, I must say this. Whenever there's things going on, you hear all of this misinformation or conspiracy theories or different opinions. It's all okay, but stay the course. You slow down, you just hang on, and you say, no, wait a minute. Let's reason this out. Reasoning it out is there are certain regimes who are not ever going to have the right, their heart's not right. There are certain groups of people who have separate agendas than others. But then I always say, what is actually happening, even if I don't know exactly who's behind everything, what is happening, where is it happening, and what did the Bible say was going to happen? And by taking current world events and looking at them from a biblical perspective, a lot of times you will find out what the truth really is. It's actually in the pages of the Bible, especially right now in these last days. You have to know the Word of God. You have to read the Bible, and you have to be willing. Now, let me just say something about Assad. There's been a lot of question with why would Assad have gassed people. Good question. I've asked that myself about 10 times. Why would he do it when Trump said he was getting ready to leave? But then there was a general that was on just this morning. I saw him on Fox News, and he was telling that, well, you have to understand, Assad's father, and a lot of folks don't know the history of this, but President Assad's father killed over 1 million people in Syria. Killed over 1 million people in Syria during his reign. He was a tyrant. Now, Bashar al-Assad was a doctor. Didn't really want to ever be involved in running the country. His older brother was the one being trained by the father to run the nation. But the older brother died. And so it fell on Bashar al-Assad. Assad then has to take power. Now, if you grew up your whole life being raised in the home of a tyrant, you heard of executions and hangings and firing squads and butchering. You had heard of all kinds of assassinations and things that had gone on during the years that man ruled Syria. And that apple don't fall too far from the tree. So at the end of the day, what you have to understand about the Middle East, they do things differently. They have to do things differently. They're in a different environment. And their brand of justice may not be the same as the Western world. And at the same time, Assad could also be being blamed for something he never did. This could have been a total setup by the rebels themselves to try to get Assad under the gun. But I don't believe that the United States is going to try to remove Assad from power. I believe that we're done, that we're getting out of there. Trump doesn't want to be in this war at all. He's going to get out. Don't worry. He's going to leave. He's going to leave there. And Assad will run that country because he is going to be under Vladimir Putin. Putin owns Syria, and that's the way it will go going forward. Assad may have been framed. It's very possible. We're in an ugly world now. It's very possible. I mean, I'll say it. It's very possible. But whether he was or wasn't Trump's. To be honest with you, President Trump doesn't know exactly. Probably he's going to go by whatever reports he's given. But at the end of the day, whether it was Assad or not Assad, Trump is not going to take Assad out of power. He's not going to make a regime change. He just wants to smash the facilities where chemical weapons can be made, no matter who are doing it. He wants to eliminate that ability so that rogue groups can't get their hands on it and do some of these terrible things that they do. As from a biblical standpoint, it's exactly what the Bible said was going to happen. Damascus was going to come under major assault and become a ruinous heap. And we're watching that happen one way or the other. And so just pray for the President of the United States, as he certainly is going to be inundated with all kinds of different voices and forces. And pray for him, and pray for the people of Syria. I want you to pray. I've been praying for the people of Syria, especially the Christians of Syria, because I realize that they have nothing to do with any of this. They just live there. And there are many Christians. Okay, I'm going to let you go, folks. I'm so glad you came to be with me. Again, there are people, though. Let me read one more time, because we do have people just now arrived, over 2,300. Here's the latest news. You will not see this yet on your mainstream fake news media. It takes them a while to react. Israel has gone on the offensive now. A little bit after midnight, explosions have now reported at the Iranian base in Deir ez-Zor. All right. But before, there's 3 attacks going on at once. Number 1, a new attack, 5:02 Eastern Time. 5:02 Eastern Time, reports of explosions at the largest Iranian base in Syria. The base was targeted by Israeli aircraft tonight. Also, Israel carried out this attack with 4 airstrikes on one of the largest munitions storage facilities in all of Syria. It is in Aleppo, Syria, and it is a base that is run by the Iranians. I said it again, Iranians and Afghani militants. That's who was in control of this base in Syria, in Aleppo, Syria. More than 30 ambulances are on the scene right now due to this attack. They're trying to do rescue operations. We do not know exactly how many people have been killed or how many are injured, but we do have a report that 20 Iranian officers have died. But again, that's unconfirmed. That's unconfirmed reports, what I'm giving you. Also, explosions now have been reported at a second base. It's an Iranian base, another Iranian base in Deir ez-Zor. Israel has now declared a no-fly zone over all of the Golan Heights area, both sides of the border, both in Syria's side of the Golan and the Israeli side. Matter of fact, they are covering it all the way east of the Jordan River. And according to CNN Turk, there's a partial power outage in Damascus tonight due to the attacks that took place in Deir ez-Zor by the Israelis. Reports of at least 1 aircraft has been shot down. I repeat, there are reports unconfirmed that an aircraft, a fighter jet, has been shot down. That fighter jet is, all right, I'm going to stay with you. If you guys stay with me, I'll stay with you. If you stay with me, I'll stay with you a little longer. That fighter jet has been shot down in Syria. We do not know if it was an Israeli fighter jet. We don't know we don't know. Maybe it was a Syrian fighter jet trying to take on the Israeli jet. Maybe it was Syria anti-aircraft S-400 missile defense systems or some type of anti-aircraft battery that shot down an Israeli jet. We don't know if the Russians shot it down, the Iranians shot it down, the Syrians shot it down. We don't even know if it was an Israeli plane. But we know there's at least 1 aircraft that has been shot down. At least that's the unofficial, unconfirmed report. Also, we have breaking news out of Haifa, Israel. Israel has initiated an emergency response procedures in anticipation of an attack on Haifa, Israel. The Israeli government has initiated emergency response procedures and has told the authorities to be prepared for any potential military fallout because of last night's attack by NATO and the NATO operations in Syria. Now, normally when Haifa has been hit before, they've been hit by Hezbollah, who can fire missiles out of southern Lebanon. And apparently the Israeli military, the IDF, and the Israeli Air Force are anticipating. They've got an Iron Dome. They'll use the Iron Dome to shoot down anything coming in, but they can't always shoot everyone down. And so here we are, just 32 days from the 70th anniversary of Israel as a nation. And Israel has engaged with the Iranian military in Syria, blowing up 2 of the Iranian military bases. And now Israel has just instituted a emergency response procedures and has told the authorities to be prepared for any type of potential military fallout that may attack. So the people of Haifa have been put on heightened high alert. Matter of fact, past high alert. They are initiating emergency procedures for the city of Haifa right now in fear of missile attack on their city. And we have information that an emergency action message has just been fired off on the U.S. global high-frequency communication systems right now. Emergency action messages have been fired off on the United States global high-frequency communication systems right now. In other words, there is an emergency potential situation, and it's being transmitted across the U.S. global high-frequency communication systems. And I got one more report. We have a report that a massive explosion has happened in the town of Quintera, Syria. Quintera, Syria sits right there near the border with Israel. We have no idea what caused that explosion. I don't know if the Israeli aircraft did it or if there was some other reason. Or maybe is it a car bomb? You know what? We don't know what that means. We just know in 3 different locations there is explosions, and we know that 2 locations, Israel, there's unconfirmed reports, Israel has sent in a fighter jets and have attacked Iranian military installations, the largest munition military facility in Syria that is controlled by the Iranians and Afghani militants. So it's getting ugly over there. It's getting real ugly. We're on the brink of Psalms 83. We are literally, this is, when I look at Gog and Magog, we know that all the different countries involved in that, plus many others. But when we look at Psalms 83, it really comes down to Israel and Iran. It really does. Other nations may jump in and attack because Iran forms a coalition, what's called a conspiracy or a confederacy, it says. They build a coalition against Israel. Iran are the main leaders of it. They are preaching it. They're proclaiming it. They have been for some time. And now we may have direct military intervention going on between the Israelis and the nation of Iran as Iranian military facilities are being attacked by Israeli fighter jets in Syria as Israel's trying to protect their nation from a potential invasion by the Iranians. So they're doing a preemptive strike. Is exactly what Israel's doing. A preemptive strike on Iranian military facilities that are sitting in Syria. Russia is seemingly very quiet. No response on either situation. The Russians have not responded from last night. The Russians are not responding tonight. So we're still in a very, very serious thing. There's over 2,500 of you guys will sit with me. I'll give you another quick report that just came in. In just 1 second here. I'm trying to keep all my ducks in a row here. Trying to keep all of the everything floating here. Israel launches new attacks on Syria. Here's the report. 20 Iranian officers have been killed in Aleppo, Syria. This is unconfirmed reports, but it is reports that Israel has carried out 4 airstrikes on one of the largest munition storage facilities in Aleppo, Syria. The facility was held by the Iranians and Afghani militants, according to the reports. There has been no official response by Israel at all, but Israel is the one that is launching the attack. There's been an unconfirmed report from that 20 Iranian officers have been killed in this attack. More than 30 ambulances are now in Jabal Azan They're there at that military facility. 30 ambulances there for a rescue operation in the aftermath of the explosion at the Iranian base in southern Aleppo, Syria. Syrian media is reporting, quote, explosions at the largest Iranian base in Syria. Iranian military base is in Syria was targeted by unidentified aircraft tonight. That's what Syria is saying. They're not saying the Syria is not blaming the Israelis yet. They're saying they're unidentified, and that they are confirming, though, that the Iranian military base has basically been blown away. Now the explosions now seem fully confirmed. Just people are arguing about the cause. But many local reports are reporting that Hezbollah is claiming that it was accidental detonation. No, the Iranians didn't blow themselves up accidentally. Hezbollah, that is a very weak response. Hezbollah is always downplays. They never want to give credit when Israel is being successful. And definitely aircraft in the air from Israel has been seen and confirmed by many. Also, just to confirm, no official confirmation has yet been given by the Israelis or the Syrians, but reports on the ground that it was Israeli aircraft that is carrying out these strategic strikes. There are some reports coming out that maybe Turkey has aircraft in the air and may be involved. We don't know what that means. That's just now being reported. And so we don't know if Turkey's involved in this or not. Okay, it's way too early to figure that one out. I want to thank all of you for being here. There's over 2,500 of you, and we did not schedule this broadcast. This is a spontaneous, with no announcement and no promotion. Just turned on the camera here in the studio. I didn't have time to turn on all the broadcasters and hook up all the equipment to just go live everywhere. I just had to do this right now. I wanted to get out here now, ahead of the rest of the networks, ahead of the rest of the spin doctors who are going to put all. And notice I'm not spinning anything here. I'm not going to spin it. Here's what's happening: United States, French, and United Kingdom smashed 3 facilities where chemical weapons are made. I'm not going to blame it on anybody. I'm not going to try to figure out who did the chemical attack. Assad could have been set up for all I know. Trump is just making sure that those facilities cannot make any more chemical weapons, period. Trump's going to pull out of Syria. He's getting out of there. Now, the Israelis, they don't want the Americans to leave because they know they will be left alone to deal with Iran, potentially Russia, Syria, Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, and everybody else. So the Israelis have gone on attack. And I'm telling you, Israelis are on the attack. They're the ones that are blowing up the Iranian munition facilities today. And so, can I ask a favor from all 2,600 of you watching live? Could you all push the like button for me? Because if you will do this, you will drive the algorithms up. It forces YouTube to put me a little on more screens of potential folks that may want to click on it. I have to fight so much censorship, it's unbelievable. Being a right-wing conservative alternative media talk show pastor, imagine that. You know how many different things I got. There's so many different reasons. Oh, by the way, who supports Israel? Okay, and Trump. Okay, so if I'm supporting President Trump, I'm not saying I agree with everything he's done. I'm not saying I agree with every one of his policies. I'm supporting the President of the United States. All right, I support Israel. So if you support Trump and Israel, and you're trying to report the news correctly, and you're a Christian, and you're evangelical, and you're a right-wing conservative, I mean, I need help to push me past all the negative algorithms that are trying to hold us back. So thank you. Hit the like button, everybody. Say, yes, Pastor, we like it. And if you guys like me coming live and doing these kinds of reports, hit that like button and show me that. Drive that number up so that I know, and I'll keep coming on here live and giving you updates up to the minute if I'm home. Now, if I wasn't home, I couldn't pull this off really. Not like this. I can kind of do it with a phone and step outside, or sometimes I'm walking through an airport. I've been outside in the parking lot of the Cracker Barrel. I mean, I've done it everywhere. If there's something important, I try my best to bring it to you as quickly as possible, unedited and unafraid, and do my best. Am I perfect? No. My number one goal is to inform people of the world what's going on and lead the lost to Jesus Christ. I am going to share the current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy and preach the powerful Word of God. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. I love all of you. I love you guys. I love what you guys are doing, and I appreciate all of the love and the fellowship. Can I check something right now as you... Thank you. I am way better than the fake news media network. I tell you that. Thank you for that. I'm not perfect. Oh, no. Look, I'm just one guy in the cornfields of Indiana. But we collectively, with some great correspondents, I got some folks out there who are really awesome. We can get the job done. Let me check one more thing for you. I've got one more area to check that might help us on this. One more source to check. We'll see if this is real fast here. There might be one more quick update to this. Okay, BBC is just now reporting that Iranian drone. Okay, that's old news, guys. I'm so far ahead of that. We know the Iranian drone was had the ability to had weapons on it. We know that. Okay, 23 minutes ago, here we go. Fighter jets are bombing Iranian military base. Here we go. Here's one of the links that fighter jets bomb Iranian military base in Syria. U.S. warns it is locked and loaded to strike again. According to Downing Street, down in the United Kingdom, they are saying that, yes, Israel is smashing Iranian military positions tonight, and the United States is locked and loaded and will do it again if need be. U.S. President Donald Trump says U.S. is locked and loaded if the Syrian regime launches another chemical weapon attack. The president issued this threat after the U.S., U.K., and French launched coordinated airstrikes against Syria in retaliation for that chemical attack in that rebel-held territory of Douma in the outskirts of Damascus. Damascus is certainly becoming a ruinous heap. But we're getting reports that Israel is attacking. Now, Nikki Haley has given a full-scale report on why Assad is being blamed for the chemical attack. But I'm not going to go there right now. I'm just going to report what's happening. What's happening right now is Israel is attacking in Syria. Israel is blowing up 2 different Iranian military facilities. But we do have reports that there may be an Israeli jet down. And we do have a report that there may be 20 Iranian officers dead. And we do have reports that in Haifa, Israel, that the emergency they've initiated emergency procedures for the residents of Haifa for fear they may be attacked by Hezbollah out of southern Lebanon. So it's on, folks. I want to thank all of you for showing up. Over 2,600 of you did at one point at the peak. There are many of you here, and I appreciate you standing with me. Hit the like button if you would. I'm going to get off here now, but if more breaking information comes, I will be back tonight. I will come back here and go live again tonight. God bless all of you. Keep praying. Pray for the people of Syria. Seriously, pray for these people. There's so many innocent people that are in the middle of this whole thing. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem, because Israel knows that they're being threatened. Israel's doing preemptive strikes on Iran. They know they better do it or they'll be attacked. And Trump is getting tons of information coming at him from different directions, and it's hard for him to try to decide what he should do and what he shouldn't do. What a tough spot to be in. God bless all of you. We love you, and we'll see you next time right here, live on the coming apocalypse. I am praying for you, your family. Please pray for all of our men and women in uniform all over the world. We don't know what they're going to be involved in next. They need our prayers. God bless. Are you serious?